That is perfect. Okay. Has anyone ever told you that you're too sensitive, too emotional? Do you ever feel drained when you spend time around certain people? If your answer to these questions is yes, you might belong to a special group of people known as empaths. Here to educate us on empaths, and of course, empath fashion, author of I Feel Too Much, Alicia Mcbride. Hey, Alicia, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you.
In the most basic terms, what is an empath?
So, an empath takes empathy to the next level. An empath feels something inside of their body as if it were their own, but it is not. It actually belongs to someone else. So, if you are in physical pain, I could feel your physical pain. If you are having emotional distress, I would feel your emotional distress. And that can be very overwhelming at first when you don't know that it's happening, that you don't
Mm.
realize that's a real thing.
Mhm.
um, so it it snowballs and your life becomes a little chaotic.
Are there different types of empaths?
Yeah, lots of different types. um, I like, speaking about physically and emotionally, I connect more emotionally. I don't often feel other people's physical pain, although I
Mm.
did yesterday with my best friend. So I guess it would depend on how well I'm connected to that person. But for me, typically, I feel more things emotionally.
So, feeling all of these things emotionally, it sounds like it could be overwhelming at times. Is being an empath a superpower or a super stressor?
Both. So in the beginning, it's a super stressor because you don't know what's happening. You have no idea what's going on. Like, my life was a hot mess before I found the word empath. I didn't know. I struggled with depression. Um,
Hmm.
I had absolutely no idea that I was taking other people's feelings. And not only was I feeling them, but I was keeping them. So
Oh.
I piled it on and on and on. And that's what you do when you don't know, when you're unaware. And it's incredibly stressful. Um, so my goal is to find all the sensitive people and all the empaths and tell them, there's nothing wrong with you. they're, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. And to explain, the word empath is a thing. It is real. You're not too sensitive. And once you become aware of that, then it's your superpower.
And speaking of sensitive, I heard this term, a highly sensitive person. What is the difference between that and empaths, or are they the same thing?
Very similar. So like, if you look at the numbers, a highly sensitive person is about 5 to 7% of the population, whereas an empath is about 1 to 3% of the population. And I personally think those numbers are too small. I think there's a lot more highly sensitive people and empaths out there. We just haven't, they don't know that they are, they don't recognize that they are. Um, so a highly sensitive person is a little more common, and they don't quite feel as deeply as an empath does. Like, it's not quite the
Hmm.
same level. Yeah. So
And empaths, they sound a little bit like people who are on the spectrum. How do you know the difference?
I'm not sure what you mean.
On the spectrum, like, I know people who are autistic who are also very sensitive to the environment. So,
Ah, okay.
so how do you know that, okay, this person's not on the spectrum, they are just an empath?
Typically, if you're on the spectrum, your sensitivity is physical, um, or like it's bright lights, or like loud noises. And although empaths are that way too, I think if you're on the spectrum, it's kind of just those things. You don't have the rest of the emotional depth of feeling, and like, you're not feeling other people's physical pain, you're not feeling other people's emotional pain. So I think if you're on the spectrum, it's just those like physical attributes.
It sounds like also having these emotions, other people's feelings, it can or do empaths get taken advantage of a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, because empaths are incredibly compassionate and generally kind. Um, and we want to help others. It's kind of our life's mission to help other people. It makes us feel good, because if you feel good, we feel good. And
Mm.
we want to feel good. So we often become people pleasers.
Mm.
We say yes way too often. I teach a lot about boundaries, and I teach a lot about saying the word no.
Yes, boundaries queen. We love to hear it.
So yes, we want to help other people, and when somebody asks for help, we're like, yes, we're gonna help you, let me help you. And we
Sometimes
often get taken advantage of.
sometimes I feel that you can spot empaths because
Mhm.
of their kindness. And sometimes I feel like because people take advantage, other people can spot them too. And I think that they can get taken advantage of. And then sometimes the empath ends up turning into an enabler almost because they're so kind and they're so willing to just go all out.
Yep.
Yep, that's true.
That is absolutely true. Yeah, because an empath also often wants to bend over backwards for somebody, and they just give and give and give, and that's an unhealthy empath. That's somebody
Mm.
who isn't who may be a little aware of what they're doing, but they're not to the point where they care, right?
Uh,
They're completely giving themselves 150%, 200%, and that person is about to be completely exhausted. That person is about to fall off the edge of the cliff and hit rock bottom. That can't last. um so I'd like to find the people before they get there.
before they hit rock bottom, just right
Yeah,
above it.
so you don't have to go through that, but sometimes you have to hit bottom before you can come back and rebuild.
Mm.
So everybody has their own life path, and everybody has their own journey, and sometimes frequently that includes rock bottom once or twice.
But also, I read that not all of you guys are great. There's something called a dark empath.
Okay.
Is that real?
I'm not sure. So I, I mean, everybody has their own opinion.
Okay,
Um,
what's yours?
I I think I would call someone a wounded empath. Um, in my opinion, a wounded empath is an empath who displays some narcissistic traits, not all,
Mm.
but some, because they have been so hurt. Because you know when you're an empath, especially, life beats you down more so than other people. You feel it more, not that life actually beats you down more than other people, but you feel it more. Your depth of feeling is intense and endless.
Mm.
So you feel it more. um, and so that person hasn't ever acknowledged their healing, or that they need to heal, or they haven't healed yet. So I, I would use the word wounded empath. Um, I believe what you're referring to, a dark empath, is closer to the narcissist category. Is that what you
Mm-hmm.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and there's lots of people believe narcissists are empaths, and they've just gone the other direction. Um, and
Mm.
I'm a believe what you want to believe kind of person, and then, so that doesn't really vibe with me, but maybe it vibes with you, and that's okay.
A lot of narcissists, as awful as they have the most devoted partners.
Yes.
Like I think their partners. I don't know how it seems like their partners are always empaths.
Yeah.
And are empaths in some weird way attracted to narcissists as well?
I think a lot of people think that narcissists seek out empaths, and I think that's true. But I also think empaths really enjoy in the beginning the narcissist, because the narcissist gives you attention, and the narcissist in the
Mm.
beginning, right, in the beginning, before all
Yeah.
the bad stuff happens, in in the beginning, they like suck you in. They're charismatic, and
Mm.
empaths love that charisma, and they love the attention, and um it, they're just drawn to that energy, and they're like, ooh, shiny, sparkly. Like, oh, okay. And that's exciting in the beginning, and you kind of fall for that. And I also think that empaths are very loyal. In
Oh,
general,
yes.
an empath is very loyal. Once you stick with someone, once you've picked someone, you stick with them. You really vibe with them, and then you remember how good it was in the beginning. So, the
Mm.
narcissist will take you on their journey, and you go from really good, and it starts slipping, but the empath remembers how good it was. And the empath can also see through the narcissist and know that they could be a good person. So the other problem is the empath wants to change the narcissist
Oh.
into the good person that they know they can be, right? Like,
If I ever rob a bank, my partner better be an empath because they are so loyal.
Oh my
Can,
gosh.
can an empath ever stop being an empath?
No, I
No?
don't think so. You can,
No.
I don't think so. Because it's the way you are. It's completely your nature. I think you were born this way. I do not think it can be. I do not think it like happens to you in life. I think the acknowledgement of your abilities happens to you at some point in your life.
Mhm.
But I think that empaths are born this way. I think it's the way we're genetically wired. Um, uh, and some of it is learned behavior. Like, you can teach empathy to other people. You can
Mm.
learn how to be empathetic, but you can't learn how to be empathic.
Ah.
You can develop what's already there. Um, and I think the majority of the people have the ability to be some level of empathetic, some level of sensitive. Um, but it takes a lot of time and effort to learn. Whereas like an empath already has it. They just have to develop what they already are capable of, whereas learning how to do it from scratch is much more difficult.
So you can't be born with it, but once you acknowledge it, if you say, you know what, I don't want to live this lifestyle anymore. I'm too loyal. I'm exhausted. No, I changed my mind. I want out. Can you leave it? Does it go away, or you're like, this is it?
No, but you learn to use it. That's how being an empath becomes your superpower. You learn to use it to your advantage. You create boundaries. You say no. You say, I don't want to be loyal to this person who's not treating me well.
Mm.
Okay. So you say, okay, thanks. Like, we had a really good run, and now our relationship is over, and uh, you know,
We're
we're
done.
we're done. Because you don't need to give 210% of yourself all the time. You know, that's exhausting. You don't want to do that.
No. Uh,
So it's not that you're getting rid of being an empath. It's you're learning how to use it, and you're learning to say no, and you're learning to give not only to you give a little bit to others, but you give to yourself. You learn self-care.
mm, we could all use that right now.
Yes.
I heard that you are a psychic
Yes.
as well. A lot of people are going to turn their knobs, but hear her out for a second. How did you discover that? And how do you know if someone is really a psychic or really trying to do something strange for an extra piece of change?
That happens.
Yeah.
I mean, people are people, and not everybody is a good person, and some people are just out to make a buck.
So how can you tell? How can we spot it?
Oh, that's a good question. How would I be able? Well, I'd probably be able to tell because I'm also psychic. I'd be like, you're not getting your information right. But how would a regular person be able to tell?
Yeah.
Um, they want to keep you coming back. They want to sell you a big package up front.
Mm.
They're very pushy. It kind of feels like they're only out to get your money. It feels like they don't actually care about what you're saying, and it feels like um, they're not like giving you helpful or in-depth information. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
So, and I would say trust your gut, completely trust your gut. And that's what I teach people to do, is trust your gut. um, I, if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't sound right, then it's probably not right. Um,
Mm.
yeah, move along, move along to another, find another psychic.
Ditch them.
Well, and cyber stalk somebody. They're on Facebook, they're on
That's true.
Instagram, YouTube. I'm on all those places. Like, I've got a website, stalk them.
And your psychic abilities, what are they?
So I have all the clairs. Some of my clairs are more developed than others. I clairvoyant is clear seeing, so I can see the future. Clairaudient is hearing. I get messages through my ears from spirit, where I like actually hear things. Um, Claircognizant is clear knowing. So sometimes I just know something. I have absolutely no idea how I know. Um, and like information just pops into my brain. I'm like, okay, cool. But, okay, that's odd. And for me, like, I started with dreams when I was little. I would have dreams that came true. That was scary. It's all scary in the beginning. And then, like, you learn not to trust yourself, and people tell you, oh, you're just dreaming, or that's your imagination.
Mm.
That's a big one. Oh, that's just your imagination. Well, no, now I'm sometimes I still have trouble, but I'm pretty good at telling the difference between my imagination and and a
In
psychic
real
vision.
life. Can
Yeah.
you can you tell us something about me? Not to be narcissistic, but like a
Oh,
psychic. I've never had a psychic.
really?
No, I've never had it. I don't know why. I'm like so shy about it, but you seem so good at it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, let me what do you want to know?
I honestly anything. This is all of it is so new to me that I'm just so curious.
You are curious. I was just going to use the word curious and bubbly and fun. What else are you? Let's dig deeper.
Hmm.
Yeah, interesting. You have a lot of energy. Your aura is lovely. It's a pretty yellow. You'll have
Oh
to look
my
that up. I'm
goodness.
not good with remembering the aura colors, but it's a pretty yellow and
Pretty
it's
yellow.
big. That's good. If an aura is like super close to your skin, then it's not as open as like the level of aura where it's farther away. Ooh, interesting.
Do you ever get like you can sense maybe a little bit about the future about people?
No. So I know. No, I cannot sit here and tell you your future. I actually don't do like psychic readings like that for people in general, or for money rather. Because my psychic gifts come to me, I don't seek them out. So
Mm.
I have not figured out, like, I'm not to the level where I can use them with like intention and purpose. Visions just come to me, like I'll just know something, or I'll see something, or I'll hear something. Um, and that information just comes to me randomly. It's really hard for me to seek it out. Like, it's easy for me to see your aura. I can do that. Like, I can tell you something, I can tell you about your energy. But as far as like psychic visions for other people, I'm not there. I'm not there
Ah,
today. As of today,
today.
I'm not there.
What
But
is so I'm yellow. What color are you?
I'm like a yellow green with a little bit of purple.
Okay. Oh, wait, you get the fancy colors. I
Well,
thought
no, well, first of all, okay, your aura changes frequently.
okay.
Um, so at the moment you're yellow, but you also have like a base color. So my base color is like a yellow green. That's the aura that's really close to my skin, is a yellow green. Uh, and then my aura that is like farther out is more yellow, and then sometimes it gets like purpley. Like I've had other people see my aura and it's very purpley.
Oh, purple is what is the purple aura?
I'm not familiar with all the definitions and all the names of the different
Ah.
colors. It's too much information for me to remember.
So, so people when they come to you for the psychic readings,
Oh, they
um,
don't.
oh, never mind.
No, they don't. I have intuitive mentor sessions, so I'll use a little of that in the intuitive mentor session. But no, in general, people don't come to me for a psychic reading. I'm not to that level yet.
Okay, they don't. Oh, well, not for psychic reading, but they don't come to you for psychic anything.
Not intentionally. No. Do I throw a little of that in a mentor session? Yeah.
Okay.
I will use whatever I have at my disposal to use to help you an intuitive mentor session. But no, it's not specifically a psychic reading.
I want to switch gears a little bit because
Yeah.
we love talking about empaths and we also love talking about fashion.
Woohoo.
So right now we're seeing a lot of eco-friendly clothing. Do you think empaths have inspired this? Your shirt.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I intentionally seek out organic cotton clothes. Um, I My skin is so sensitive. I've never been able to wear like polyester, rayon, nylon,
Mm,
spandex because it's all plastic.
yeah.
And my skin is super sensitive. I can't like even if it's really soft polyester, like they have that. I mean, it's incredibly soft now. Um, but it's still made out of plastic and it still makes my
Mm.
skin itchy and bumpy and
Ugh.
sweaty and then like I'm hot and I'm cold and it just doesn't it it
It
doesn't
doesn't do it.
no, it doesn't feel right on my body at all. So I actually found an online clothing company called Beckons Clothes, and this shirt is from them. I wore my dress from them dancing last night, and it's all organic cotton. I absolutely love it, and it feels so nice. It feels so nice.
When I think of empath fashion, I sometimes think about someone who prefers comfort over style,
Mm,
like softer materials,
yeah,
um, maybe not sweatpants, but the kind of like boho-y
yeah.
pants. How can you spot an empath?
Sometimes. Um, so just by the way that they're dressed, I can definitely spot, kind of a hippie person
Yeah.
because you're right. They're wearing the boho pants. Like my backpack is super colorful. I wear a backpack instead of a purse. So my backpack is like all has all the colors in it. Um, Empaths often wear purple and red.
Mm.
Um, those are good like grounding bottom chakra, top chakra colors. um and so you can kind of see an empath that way, but for me I see them more energetically.
And you see them energetically, but some people who have never seen an empath, who is a fictional empath or a celebrity empath that we can kind of get some reference to? For me, I think of Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I think I was like, okay, maybe she is one, but I don't know anyone else really.
Well, I'll tell you, I think Kelly Clarkson is an empath.
Kelly,
i am
okay.
I am 100% convinced Kelly Clarkson is an empath. I love her. She cries at the drop of a hat. I love her. And I think if you're familiar with Twilight, Jasper from Twilight, um,
I loved him.
his because he controls the mood, right?
Yeah.
He is able, and especially if you read uh, the Edwards point of view. I
Mhm.
forget the name. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the name of the book. But if you read the first book from Edwards' point of view, then you get to hear more about Jasper, um, and where he like controls the mood and he can put out the emotion that he wants you to feel. And he specifically felt all of the other vampires' emotions. So Jasper from Twilight is an empath.
I was thinking, I was like, okay, I named the female one, we named the female one. I was thinking of like some males because I don't know, are there, if it sounds like there are more females than males, but maybe males are just being overlooked.
I agree. I think there are more females than males, just because we're more emotional by nature.
Mm.
But I also think there's a lot of male empaths who have stuffed it down, because
Mm.
it wasn't that long ago, or it still is, that we were told that boys don't cry.
Ugh,
Boys don't cry. You're not allowed to show emotion. You have to
yes.
be hard. You cannot be soft at all because soft is weakness. And I don't think that's true at all. I am raising boys and they are allowed to cry.
Good. Yes. And also with the whole men aren't allowed to show weakness, we've also seen that in fashion kind of turn over. We're seeing more of a softer side of men, the nail polish, the kind of short shorts. And before that was seen as gay or homosexual, but now I think even women are kind of being attracted to that freedom, that liberation of just being themselves.
Just be yourself. That's right. I mean, whoever that is, just be you. If that's short shorts and nail polish, that's short shorts and nail polish. Do it. If that
Yes.
works for you, do it. I mean, who cares?
I love the cultural trend, the fashion trend, the empath trend that we are on right now. We are running out of time, but Alicia McBride, how can the listener touch base with you?
They can find me online at healinglightempath.com.
Healinglightimpact.com.
Yes.
Thank you so, so, so much for your time
Thank
today.
you. Thank you for having me on here. You are wonderful to talk to.
Uh, I'm gonna go look up the colors after this.
Yes. Google the colors.
Bye.
Thank you so much.